Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's been a long time. I've had a lot of comments lately on my videos about how diet culture is awesome and we should all strive to lose weight and life will be wonderful. So, also about how I'm a failure because I have gained weight. I'm taking up more space and that's not okay. So, in the new year, I just wanted to touch on briefly for a moment why I don't feel the need to be smaller as some sort of goal in order to live the life and achieve the things I want to achieve. Now, it's okay to have goals and dreams of how you want to be and how you want to exist in the world. Okay, but when you are basing that off of a size or a weight, a number on the scale, or even by the food that you eat or whatever, just think for a second, broaden your perspective of what it is to live life. And I will just say that life is not about what size you are or what food you eat or whatever. It is not. Life is so much more encompassing than that. And when we just narrow down, my life would be so much better if this, and this happened, or my life would be so much better if I could just be this size, then everything would be more achievable. I would be able to, do the things that I want to do, etc., etc. And it's really easy to fall into that trap. And I have moments where I start thinking that way again and feel like such a failure and whatever. And I think what it comes down to is it's okay to feel uncomfortable with where you're at. And I think what you just have to do in that moment is think, why am I feeling uncomfortable? Is it because I feel judged by other people? Is it because I, see this ideal and I want that because I feel like that ideal is where I will find happiness? Or is it lived experience and you are saying, I have been skinny, I've been fat, I want, this range of thing in between. But what you need to do is figure out why you are wanting the things that you're wanting. And when you figure that out, you'll start to be able to create a life you actually love and feel comfortable in while not really giving a crap what other people are saying or thinking about it. And so it just, when I see people commenting on my videos and being like, you failed because you've gained weight, I just feel like, you don't understand at all what I've been trying to say. And I get that it's because I hardly ever make videos and I deleted videos in between. So I get that my videos are confusing right now. I understand. Um, and I know that I'm not getting the point across because I'm still getting, I mean, maybe I'd get comments regardless whether or not I was doing a good job at making my point. But I want you guys to know, it is not comparable how I feel now as far as how I feel about myself and my place in the world and in my own life and the ownership I have of being able to create the life that I want compared to how I used to be when, yes, I felt very empowered losing a crap ton of weight and I would post things and everyone was very encouraging and I was getting lots and lots and lots of validation. There's such a difference when you start to get validation from yourself and not needing validation from other people in order to feel good in what you're doing. And so anyway, it's such a difference. And I wish I could convey that in a way that people actually got and were and believed me that that was the case. Um, because the change is night and day to me of the comfort and confidence that I feel in my own skin. And recognizing that my skin, specifically my skin, is not perfect. But my size, whatever, may not be up to everyone's ideal. It may not even be my ideal, able to crush different goals that I have. I don't know, skiing without fear that my joints aren't strong enough, with muscles or whatever. So I have goals surrounding my body, but it's not goals surrounding the size or whatever of my body. It's my ability to do different things. And like my goals are centered around like strengthening myself to be able to do the things that I want to do, not shrinking myself to be able to do those things. Because you could be, shrinking yourself and end up still not being able to do those things. Like I've had plenty of injuries happen when I was at my smallest weight, right? And so that had nothing to do with weight. But when you are overweight and you get an injury, then it must have been because you were overweight, right? So there's all these things that you kind of have to push back against that the culture around us tells us are a result of increased weight. And there are so many factors at play that have nothing to do with weight. And the research actually points to that. Like the risk factors for different things are not being overweight, it's those unhealthy habits that kind of get you in that position sometimes. But also, an unhealthy habit is to restrict so much that you overcompensate in the end and end up on this crazy cycle, which is where I was. And I'm in such a healthier place with that now. Like, I just barely went to my brother's wedding and I had a bridesmaid dress that I bought months and months in advance. And in years previous, my weight would go up and down, like major fluctuations between months at a time because I'd constantly be jumping on this and falling off and this and falling off or whatever, falling off in quotation marks, because it's a very natural reaction for your body to do that. But I went shopping for this dress months in advance. I was kind of like wondering if I had changed sizes or something. Anyway, I had to go get it altered to shorten it because it was way too long. Side note, I tried to buy like super tall shoes so that I wouldn't have to get it altered because altering is expensive, right? So I tried to find shoes, but literally I would have had to get like 6-inch heels in order for it to fit right. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to pay to get it altered. So I go to the alteration shop. I hadn't tried it on in forever. And I go, and I was the right size, but also this was like still a month or two before the wedding. So I was like, okay, awesome. So he shortened it. It was great. Got the shoulders taken in, like, because I have a short torso, so everything has to be fixed to me. Anyway, I went and picked up the dress and I never tried it on again, literally, until I was going to the wedding. And I was like, I sure hope this fits. Like, I literally didn't try it on before we drove 12 hours to the wedding. And I was like, well, I think this is going to work. I sure hope so. And I tried it on and it was perfect fit. Like I had, without weighing myself, without like trying to keep myself to some standard or whatever, I had maintained my weight from months previous to now. And that was not through some like special effort. That was just me keeping tabs on my own body and listening to my body and its needs. In the past, I would have like done some crash dieting in the months leading up to the wedding, and I would have like at the alteration had them alter it to be the right size because I'd been, doing all of this work to get me to that picture perfect point. And it was so nice to just be there on that day and be present and be able to wear the dress that fit my body and to not have had, like, I wasn't worrying about it for months leading up to it. And I know that can be something that stresses a lot of people out when they have some event that's coming up. And I was able to just like exist and live my life living up to that point. Anyway, I don't know the point of that story other than to tell you that that's like a major shift in how I, was approaching something in my life with no stress about it and was able to live in the moment on that day. And compare that to like my wedding, the wedding diet that everyone goes on. I, in my whole life, have never been great at sticking to a diet until bright line eating. And we all know bright line eating. They suck you in with their tales of, food addiction. And so you feel like if you go off, then you're just proving, yes, I'm addicted to food, right? Anyway, back to my wedding 6 years ago. 6 years ago? Yeah, 6 years ago. And I was not great at sticking to diets. I was like, I need to because I want to look so good on my wedding day and all of these things. And I couldn't stick to anything. And so I eventually did Nutrisystem because Nutrisystem, you don't have to make any choices. They're all made for you. It's all just like laid out, boop, 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 right? Which is very similar to Bright Line Eating in that way. And so I like lost all this weight, whatever. And I remember the day before we got married, we were setting up the reception in the gym of a church, and it was great. My mom did a wonderful job. Thanks, Mom. We were setting it up, and I remember we had pizza, Costco pizza for lunch, and someone was like, "You should eat some." And I was like, I don't know, like I have to fit into my dress tomorrow because I rented a dress and they tried it on us 2 days. So basically, I went a couple months in advance and went to the dress rental place, tried on a bunch of different dresses. They said, okay, come back 2 days before your wedding and we will put the dress on you and we'll alter it to be, fitting perfectly. So I had already done my dress fitting and I was on that day before my wedding, like only one day in between, right? And I was scared to eat pizza because I thought that it was going to make it so my dress didn't fit. Like, can you just feel how different that is than I just went to a wedding, had an altered dress that was fit to me, and I didn't try it on for months before the wedding. And it's not like I had a backup plan if this dress didn't work, right? I just was confident that I'd been like in tune with my body enough that nothing had really changed, right? And just compare the difference between that. Anyway, I've been talking for too long, and I think maybe my work is like ready for me to start back at it again. We were kicked out of our program. But I just wanted to hop on and say, if you could see the change, the real mental shift that is happening, then like you wouldn't still be trying to push your diet stuff on me. I am not trying to diet ever, 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 ever again. And I will share that I am now taking medication for my ADHD, and it's like night and day difference of, you know, I was using food as stimulation a lot of the time. And like sometimes I could recognize that and realize that I was looking for stimulation and find stimulation in a different way. But lots of times it's hidden very well. Your body hides it very well, or your brain, like of what you're looking for in a moment with ADHD. You're kind of just like distracted because you're looking for something, but you don't know what that something is. And a lot of the times I used food for that. And it has been such a change since I've like started on my medication that I can like actually, I'm receiving my stimulation through the medication. And so I'm not like needing food to be that stimulation. That like all this stuff that everyone always tells you with diet culture of like you just need to do this thing or that thing or whatever was an imbalance in my brain to now I can like look at a menu and say what sounds good, what would like make me feel the best, what is like the most nutritious or whatever. And I can look at the menu and like just actually be able to think about it and not have like this search for stimulation in my brain going at all times. So there are so many more factors at play for everyone around you than just like lose weight, exercise, eat less or whatever. Like there's so much at play that nobody can know everybody's circumstance or into someone's brain. And so we all just need to lay off it and stop telling people that they need to do a certain thing to be smaller and take up less space, because we are all here. We can take up space. And once you can come into your own and feel so fulfilled just making choices that align with you, then seriously, life changes. So anyway, that's my tidbit for New Year's. Just take up freaking space. And I don't know. I don't like, comment on this if you want and tell me that it's not okay, but don't perpetuate diet culture myths on my channel, please, because I will reply back to you, and I will also probably let you know that I'll be deleting your comment because I'm not perpetuating that kind of stuff on my channel. And if that makes me censoring, that's okay, because it's my space and you guys are choosing to be in it. And honestly, if 10 people choose to be in it, that's fine. If 100 people choose, whatever. Like, this is my space and this is the space I'm creating. So if you choose not to be in it, it's okay. And you can let me know or not. It's okay. I understand. I totally get it. And I just want you all to know that you're okay the way that you are. And you can take up space. And don't let anybody give you crap on New Year's about like setting goals that need to be about making yourself smaller or that you're not all right the way that you are, because life is so much more than your food choices, your exercise choices. Like, there's no morality in those. You can just do you, boo, and life will be okay. So, happy New Year's. Hope everyone is having a fabulous 2023 so far, and I will maybe see you on here soon. I never know. We'll see. Bye.